Dan, I like it. High five. Good luck, high five. Boom. Awesome. Hey guys, so we are actually currently at Gateway. We just finished watching Alita Battle Angel, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Pretty good.
But for those of you that don't know, I'm Caleb Janssens, and this is
Happe Chappe.
Yes, there we go. Cool, and so we've decided to do a collaboration scene as we actually watched this film together, which has actually been a dream of mine for quite a while.
Was the first film we saw together?
Yeah, it was actually. High five.
Let's go.
That was fantastic.
Okay, so Alita Battle Angel was directed by Robert Rodriguez. It has a pretty good cast overall with amazing visual effects, I must say.
I flipping love this film. Like the first thing you're going to hear from any review is just how gorgeous it is, and this is one hell of a beautiful film.
Especially on Alita herself, the CGI on her is actually unreal. Some of the best sort of human CGI I think I've ever seen in any movie. We saw it in IMAX as well.
We did see it on IMAX.
Incredible. The detail on her face, you can see her pores and stuff. It's absolutely incredible.
And I have to say, in terms of the way the character design and stuff like that, when I first saw the trailer, I wasn't a fan of the big eyes.
Yeah, same.
But I thought it was quite a cool touch.
Yeah, it's cool.
I loved it. And there's this one scene where she's busy looking at her own hands and stuff like that. And you see how detailed everything is. And I was honestly I was a little bit in awe. It's been a while since I've been awestruck in a film in terms of its beautiful visuals in a live action film.
Yeah.
And I was actually taken aback by the CGI in this film.
Even I know it's going to sound silly, but her hair, often in CGI you can notice the character is really fake by just their hair. Her hair in this as well is just really cool. Amazing textures. And the visuals itself, the cinematography was incredible. The whole look of the world was amazing, very unique. I thought it was going to sort of copy other films that came previously, but it does have its own unique sort of touch and flavor. Sorry, there's so much flipping noise, but I hope
very noisy here.
Yeah, so the whole world looks amazing. What's the place they're living in called again?
Oh shoot, Iron City. It's Iron City.
Iron City, yeah. Iron City looks amazing, incredible.
In terms of world building, I think they beautifully realized this world. But in such a short period of time, you're able to understand the hierarchy in this world. You're able to understand it's not a pretty world. It's not a fun world. You do not want to live there. It was just perfect world building. You knew exactly what was happening the moment you set foot in that fictional world. I loved it.
Yeah. So some of the things I didn't really like a lot is they seem to shove a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
Is that I don't know.
It is the right word. It is the right word.
Exposition.
Like in Game of Thrones, it's called sex position.
Okay.
Because they explain it while they're having sex.
Okay, yeah, fine. Okay, let me start on again. Okay, so some of the things I didn't like about this film is there's a lot of exposition being shoved in your face quite a lot through other characters, I guess you can say, without spoiling anything. So I understand why they're doing it, but I felt like it was very forced at times and very blatant and obvious. That was something that I didn't like as much personally. I thought it was a bit too much. I think they should have left stuff for the characters for us to get from the characters just by living in the world.
For me, that does make sense. But for me, that's always a touchy one because it's hard. There are certain things the audience has to know. Yeah. And so you have to expose it to a certain amount. But I do agree.
It just felt a bit much at times, personally.
I agree. No, I agree.
What was some of the things you didn't like that much?
I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but we have spoken about it.
Yeah.
There's one character, we're not going to talk much about it at all, but the love interest for me, he was the weakest part in the film. I personally enjoyed the love story, but he was probably the weakest performer. He gave the weakest performance in my opinion, if that makes sense. Yeah, that was the worst part of the film for me.
Okay, and there's some of the other things I don't like as much were the villains. I felt like the villains were a little weak. I'm not going to spoil anything, that's all I'm going to say. Just felt the villains were weak. I didn't quite understand their motivations entirely. So that was some of the things that didn't land well for me.
I agree and disagree with that one because it feels like the different tiers of villains. You get your villains that are like your henchmen and they're there to be aggressive and fight. And in terms of that, I think they did the perfect job. Then you get the villains that are supposed to be the ones in the shadows that play the cards and stuff like that are the evil masterminds. And they let me down. So the evil henchmen, I was intimidated by them and the action sequences left nothing to be desired. So the rough and tumble bad guys, I loved. The evil masterminds, I didn't personally.
Some of the things reviewers are saying as well is that they feel like this movie is just sort of setting up the next couple sequels. And it obviously is setting up sequels, but I didn't feel like that entirely. I felt like this was still its own storyline in a way, its own unique sort of story. It felt like a story to me. It didn't feel like I was trying to force a sequel personally.
I agree, there are loose ends, but it still tells the whole story. Like for example, you wouldn't say The Fellowship of the Ring is an incomplete film. There are
Yeah,
lots.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
still telling a story, but in itself, it's a complete film. And I feel the same about this film.
Yeah.
One thing before we forget, which I loved, was the soundtrack. I don't know about you.
Yeah, good,
There's-
strong soundtrack, yeah.
From the worst soundtrack in the entire film is actually the credits soundtrack. But besides that, I remember there's this one scene, it's an emotional scene, two people get into a fight. That's all I'm saying. But the moment the first punch goes, the beat hits, boom, and I was invested in that scene. I love the soundtrack for this film.
So I love Jennifer Connelly and Mahershala Ali a lot from their previous films. I just thought they were kind of weak in this movie. I think they just didn't get enough sort of screen time to
They also
develop.
felt incredibly underdeveloped. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Yeah, no,
They're just
that's exactly what I
underdeveloped.
think as well. So they're incredible actors. Obviously, Mahershala Ali won an Oscar 2 years ago, and he might win one this year even. But I just felt like in this movie his performance was good, but it just wasn't. His character wasn't that developed.
It
and-
left stuff to be desired.
Exactly. Yeah.
Christoph Waltz gave, in my opinion, probably one of the best performances in this whole film. I loved him from the moments I saw him. And he's very mysterious in this film. There are lots of things that you discover about his character as the film progresses. And he just gets cooler and cooler. Like, he starts off as just this genuine oak that you love. And then he just becomes more and more badass as time goes on. There's a lot of thumping. I do apologize.
I think what's cool about this film is that there's a lot of actors and actresses that you don't really expect in this sort of genre of film, which is quite awesome and surprising. And it's cool to seeing them sort of, I guess, have like a fun time.
Yeah.
They're having a fun time in this movie, but also delivering really strong performances, most of them.
Talking about people you wouldn't expect in films, I don't know how this links up in my brain. Some people said the plot left a lot to be desired. I enjoyed this plot. I enjoyed the story thoroughly. From the moment the film started, it threw questions at me. I wanted to know the answers to those questions, so I was invested in this film, especially in the story of Alita. I wanted to know more about her. So I actually think the plot in this film was fantastic. Any thoughts on that?
Well, just to go on what you were saying, I think it does a really good job on world building. So it's, as you were saying, like the plot obviously has a lot to do with that. So there's a really great sort of world setup, and it doesn't sort of give you the whole grand picture of how everything works, and that you only introduce to a very small part of this world, if I can say that. So obviously that will be more explored in sequels, but it was good. I thought it was a strong start to this sort of story. Yeah,
I'm definitely hoping for a sequel, and I'm hoping this
there will
doesn't-
be one.
Yeah,
If it makes money, and I'm
makes
sure
money,
it's
there
gonna
will
make
be
money.
another one.
Caleb, what are your wrap-up thoughts?
My wrap-up
We've
thoughts.
gotta go.
It's getting very late.
Getting late.
My final thoughts. I have seen far too many anime adaptations, manga adaptations that just sucked, and this is definitely not one of them. I love this film. I would highly recommend it. Okay guys, so it's only the beginning of the year, but I can tell you for quite a while this is still going to be my favorite movie of the year until, of course, something better comes out, which is inevitable. But currently this is my favorite film of this year. Your final thoughts?
Final thoughts is it's a pretty strong film. I need to process it a bit more, but I really did enjoy it. It's definitely a movie you want to see in the theaters. It's got incredible visuals. James Cameron was involved in the visual stuff, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
He was a part of the screenplay, so yeah, it's absolutely incredible. The cinematography is really good. The visual effects are incredible and amazing. Some really strong performances. And yeah, it was a really good time. I had a really good time watching this movie, and there was a few surprises along the way as well, which was really cool.
Yeah, some of those, I don't want to, no spoiler territory, but some of them I was like, oh, that's hectic.
Yeah.
That's hectic, yeah. But guys, that is our movie review. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for taking just a few minutes out of your day to watch this for us. Do not be afraid to subscribe to Happe Chappe, fantastic video logs, memes every Monday.
That's right.
Marvelous Memes Monday.
That's right. Dab.
And yeah, just it's a meme and movie review channel, pretty much.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, also remember to subscribe to Caleb Janssens. He's got some sick videos. Some cool ones coming up as well, which probably have not yet been released while you're watching this. And then also just let us know if you guys want to see us collab again and watch more movies together.
Yes.
This was kind of an experimental video, so we hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Boom. There we go.
What's in your hand, Caleb?
It says, I love Dan and I love Ali.
Okay, cool.